So as I said, when I thought now I have reached a beautiful state of mind, Babaji brought me back to reality. And he said, now you have to go back to your home, stay with your mother. Eventually, he said, you will get married, you will have a family, stay normally, don't change your clothes. And he gave me a reason for this. He said, most of the people who will come to you are not sannyasins. People who come to you will be householders, married people, working people. And their problems can be sorted out only if you have lived a life and know what it actually means. He also said that renunciants and sannyasins should not give advice to married people on family matters because they know nothing about it. It says only when you have a wife or you have a child, then you know the compulsions of living. So go back and live normally. So I said, where should I go? He said, go back to Trivandrum. Now, as I have mentioned to you earlier, that time, at some point, Babaji had given me 2 copper rings to wear in my ears, so that the external paraphernalia of a Nath Panthi is to wear earrings. Sometimes they wear here in the cartilage, but he said this is enough, you can wear. And also, I was not cutting my hair. The Nath Panth, nobody cuts their hair. It was quite long in those days. I had a lot. My hair used to grow very, very fast. And I used to tie it up, keep it like Babaji, pretending that I am imitating him. So on. I had a Rudraksha mala. So when I was leaving, Babaji called me and said, are you going like this? I said, yes, Babaji. He said, no, already your mother and your parents are feeling sad because they didn't know where I was. For 3.5 years, they probably thought that I was dead. Afterwards, I came to know that they had advertised in newspapers, missing persons list. He said, in this condition, if you go and stand before them wearing rings and matted hair, that will be the last straw. Probably somebody will get a heart attack. So he told me, go and cut your hair, take out your earrings and throw them into the Ganga, and then you go to Delhi, gave me some money, buy a ticket from Haridwar to Delhi. The station, one of my senior disciples, one Mr. Agarwal will come and receive you. He knows you are going, and he will take you home and you stay with him for 2 days. From there he will get you clothes to wear, decent clothes is the words he used, other words he used, so that you wear a shirt and pants and then shoes and then go home. I said, all right, whatever you say. But I was said, but are you serious? Do you really think that I have to go back? He said, yes, you have to go back. There is no other way. And you know this is your mission. After you go back, you must spend some time with your parents, live a normal life, get some job. After some time, you can leave the job, go and join the Ramakrishna mission for some time. I want you to learn the discipline there, then and meet all holy men and spiritual people and yogis wherever possible. Study everything that is required, because you will find people from all walks of life coming to you in later years. When this happens, you should be well equipped to teach them according to the way that they go and not try to change their ways. And last, he said, at the end of all this exposure, you have to go and meet J. Krishnamurti, stay for some time and see how this works, how he works, what's happening. All this is part of your understanding. It should be part of your equipment. So you should be well equipped to handle all kinds of people who would at some point come to you. So I said, but Babaji, I don't want any people to come to me. I don't want to teach and get caught up in this. He said, look, it will happen at some point and I will give you the green signal for it. Only then you need to start. You don't have to start anything now, because if you open your mouth and say anything now, you will probably be talking rubbish. So I said, all right. So from there I went. Going back was so difficult from Babaji. One is leaving Babaji. Two is leaving the Himalayan beauties, the beautiful state where I used to live. And the third is going back into this thing about relatives and father and mother and sisters and friends and this whole, you know what it is. It's a net in which one is caught over and over again. About all that, I was not supposed to tell anybody or talk to anybody about all these things that I have learnt. I have to keep my mouth shut. Now that is a very difficult thing to do when you go to a place where you see a holy man talking and you suddenly realize that sometimes this man is saying absolute nonsense and you can't open your mouth. You have to sit and listen. So that was a very difficult part of my life to do. Anyway, I went back. In Delhi, just as Babaji had said, Mr. Agarwal came and took me in his expensive car to his house in Kailash. He also gave me, as Babaji had instructed him, to give me the practice of Kriya, advanced practice of Kriya, which is called Talabhya, which is something to do with what in Hatha Yoga is called Khechari Mudra. It's slightly changed, it's called Talabhya in Kriya Yoga. So he taught me that, and then he sent for the tailor and I got a new pair of clothes. He bought me a sleeper ticket from Egmore to Trivandrum. I'm sorry, from Delhi to Egmore and Egmore to Trivandrum, and gave me also some money, and came to the station and dropped me and would goodbye. So one evening, I landed back in Trivandrum, clean shaved, wearing reasonable, respectable clothes. And then I was thinking how to go home. I found that the railway station area has not changed much in 3.5 years. So instead of hiring an auto or calling anybody, of course there were no cell phones then. So I thought I'll walk. It's not very far. So I walked with a small bag in my hand. And then I went to my house and entered the house, and my mother came out and she was shocked. She started crying and all that, and hugged me, and then my sisters. My father came afterwards in the evening. Anyway, nobody said anything. My dad was not angry with me. He only said, next time when you go somewhere, you tell us where you are going. Don't go off like that, because they thought that I was dead. So I spent some time in Trivandrum, and like Babaji said, I decided that I would use every opportunity that I get to learn something from yogis or holy men who are in and around the place. So that's when I went to Kanyakumari. As I said earlier, met Maima and got her blessings. I met Gopalaswami, of course, when I was a very small boy. I went to Abhedananda's ashram and spent some time, because Swamiji was old and still there. He lived another year. And then something which is very extraordinary, which I have to tell you. Between Trivandrum and Kanyakumari comes the temple of Suchindram. It's a very famous Hanuman temple, Suchindram. Before you reach Suchindram, if you take a turn to the left, you will come to a place which is called Maruthuvamalai. It's an ancient mountain, Maruthuvamalai. On the top, there is no way to go up except through walking and trekking. On top of Maruthuvamalai, there are many caves, small caves. There is one cave. To go to that cave, you have to go through a tunnel and come out, and then you will find a cave. It's a small window, and if you look, you see the whole thing around, complete scenery. The cave looks as if it was man-made, but I think it is a natural cave in which people came later and built some places where one can sit down and so on. So I decided to go to Marthuamalai. I wanted to be alone and spend the time by myself. So I got into a bus, got down and went to Marthuamalai. After that I went several times with my friend Ranjit, who was my closest friend and who used to keep in touch with me even when I used to run away somewhere. Even after that I have gone off here and there many times, short periods. So I went to Marthuamalai, climbed up the steps. By the time I reached there, it was evening. I had carried some food with me, simple food, bananas and few idlis packed. So I went up, and in the night I sat in one of those caves all alone. I was meditating. Suddenly I was woken up by somebody shouting, "Naina, Naina," like that. So I said, could be then. I opened my eyes and there was this man, very shriveled man, in wearing a small dhoti, very soiled dhoti. He had a moustache, but he had shaved small hair, very thin man. And he kept saying, "Naina, Naina, Naina." I actually didn't understand the meaning of Naina until I went and settled down in Madanapalli and learned a little bit of Tamil. Telugu. Telugu Naina means Appa, father. So apparently he always said Naina, Naina, and nobody knew what he was talking, because he used to talk in some words. In those days I did not know that it was Telugu. People there said he blabbers, but now I feel that it was Telugu. Anyway, he made me sit there. "Naina, Naina, kucho," something he said, and sat down. And that day he talked to me in Tamil, and when I came out and told people, they said it is impossible, he never talked Tamil. But he actually talked to me in such clear Tamil and gave me a good exposition of what is called Raj Yoga. It is a very interesting concept, because he said the difference between a Raj Yogi and an other yogi is that the other yogi starts practicing his attention from the bottom up. He said, in Raj Yoga we practice from top to bottom. I said, how is this possible? Because normally you start meditating from the Mooladhara center, which is at the lower part, and then go up to this center. He said, no. You see, he said it can be done, but it is very dangerous. I said, in what way dangerous? He said, if there is a well, and if there is water at the bottom of the well, and if you want to take the water from the bottom of the well, by going down into it and trying to take the water, there is every chance that you might slip and fall into the well. So what should we do? So he said, stay high up on the ground and use a bucket with a rope and take it up from below. So I said, how does it apply? He said, you concentrate on the higher centers from Ajna Chakra, from here to here. He said, there are 7 centers there also. So you put your attention there, and then from there you shift your attention down and pull up the energies one by one. Instead of trying to go up, pull it up from up above. Now this is a concept which I had never heard before. So I said, this Raj Yoga concept I have never heard before. What do you call it? He said, we call it Shiva Raj Yoga, and it is what was taught by Agastya to Tirumular. So this was a beautiful lesson I got from him. And then he also came and slept in that cave. But what I noticed, something very peculiar was, normally we sleep with our legs straight and body down. He sat down, stretched his legs, bent his head in front, and did something like what in yoga is called Paschimottanasana, which means resting the forehead on the knees and holding it tight, he fell asleep. In that position, I have never seen anybody sleeping like that in my life. He said, this is how yogis should sleep, they should not lie down. Okay, I never attempted because I like to lie down and sleep, but anyway. So, the next day morning, I got down from Marutuvamalai and went back. After that, several times with my friend Ranjit, with my friend Madana Gopal, with a motorbike, we used to go all the way to Marutuvamalai, sometimes go further up to Kanyakumari. But after that, only once I met him, once in my life. And that was when I went with Madana Gopal one day. We went up to the cave. I left my chappals there and went inside. And my friend was sitting inside. When he went and picked up those chappals, brought them and put them in front of my friend Madana and said, Namaskaram, Namaskaram. So he wondered what he was saying. He said, bow down to those chappals. So afterwards my friend told me, I think he wants me to accept you as my guru. I said, that is left to you, whether you want guru or no guru, but if you want to do it. That was the second time I met. After that I heard that he had passed away. Then I went to a place called Takkalai, which is also very close to Kanyakumari. It's on the way to Nagarkoil, where there is the tomb of a holy man, a Sufi holy man, whose name is Takkalai Peer Muhammad Sahib. It's a tomb. It is said that he was a blind man who used to live there, and he was a weaver who used to weave clothes, and he had a small boy to help him. He would put his hand on his shoulders and walk around. The boy was his eyes, and he lived his life. His tomb is there even now, and in some way in our family, one of our ancestors was his close disciple, so his tomb is also there. So one day I went there because I had heard about Takkalai Peer Muhammad Sahib. My grandmother used to tell me stories about him. So I went to the tomb. It's a very peaceful place. Meditated for some time and got into a conversation with the man who was looking after the tomb. So I told him, please tell me something about him. So he said that he lived here for many years. He was blind and he used to meditate for a long, long period of time. Even in the dead of the night, people never saw him sleep. He would be sitting and doing his prayers or sitting quietly and meditating. Then he told me a very interesting story. It seems one day 3 Arabs who were experts in the Quran, the Islamic scripture, they came to Takkalai hearing that there was a saint called Peer Muhammad Sahib. But they were told that this man did not do his 5 times prayers. He never went to the mosque, but he would simply sit quietly and meditate. Although sometimes he said Allah, Allah, but he never went to the mosque. And that he had never gone to Makkah to Hajj, which every Muslim is supposed to do in his lifetime. So they came actually to make him understand that this is not the way. You should do 5 times prayer every day, and that you should go to Makkah, and if you need help, we will give you money and so on. So they came and they met him, and they told him that you have not gone to Makkah. It is incumbent on all Muslims to go to Makkah, so if you don't have money, we are there to help you. So he made them sit for some time, and then he's supposed to have, that he used to have a pot, water pot kept inside near his weaving machine, hand weaving. So there was a water pot. So I believe he told them, after doing your prayers, please come here and look into the pot. So after doing their prayers, they came and looked all three of them looked into the pot with a white cloth thrown on top of the head. And when they looked, suddenly the water cleared and they saw a scene. They saw inside the water pot, on the water, they saw Makkah. And there they saw a lot of pilgrims going round and round the Kaaba. And along with that, they saw themselves also going round. And in front, the Pir Muhammad Sahib was also going, led by this small boy with his hands on his shoulders, going round and coming out. So when they saw this, they were so astounded and embarrassed that they had asked this holy man to improve himself when they themselves didn't know about him. That they begged pardon of him and said, "We didn't know that you are such a great saint. We are very sorry about it," and went back to wherever they came from. This is one of the stories of Takalapi. So I went there. And then I also used to visit all the little temples, mosques, tombs, wherever I could find them. I went one day, travelled to Tiruchi and went to Srirangam and had a darshan of Ranganatha there, who is lying in the sleeping posture in Anantasayana. And then from there I went to Nagur, where there is a mosque, a tomb of a great saint, Sufi saint, who is referred to as Nagur Andavar. Very close to that is the Velankanni shrine, where hundreds and thousands of people go every day. So I went to the Velankanni church also, spent some time quietly. You know, the thing about a church is that first of all, as soon as you enter, especially old churches, when I travel in Europe, I make it a point to go to these old cathedrals. They are so peaceful and beautiful inside. First, because nobody utters a word, everybody is silent, and there is a beautiful altar. And if you are lucky, there are these huge organs which play devotional music. Nobody is singing, only the music. This organ music is so peaceful to the soul that you enjoy it sitting there on the benches which are kept there. I love to go to these cathedrals, old cathedrals. Of course, in many parts of Europe, nobody is attending service now. So many of these cathedrals, some of them have been turned into supermarkets now or into tourist attractions, but they are out of this world. So since I used to go to the Palayam church also in Trivandrum, I went to Velankanni church, spent some time there, meditated, because I believe that a person like Jesus Christ cannot be an ordinary human being. It is not possible. Which ordinary human being would say, "Bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you"? Which ordinary human being would say that? Here, if somebody turns one ear, you are ready to kick him in the stomach. How can you forgive somebody? Not only forgive, do good to them that hate you. I mean, this is extraordinary. I think it is not an ordinary man. It's something you cannot define. I think if Jesus Christ was born in India, he would have been one of, now we have Dashavataras, they would have had 11th avatar also put up, because it's not like a human being. So this is the thing. Of course, in the name of religion, battles have been fought, people have been killed. This is because of established religion. It is nothing to do with the true essence of religion. No great teacher has asked or encouraged people to engage in this kind of thing. It's that when it becomes established, all these things happen, and it is organizational. One of my person whom I respect very much, J. Krishnamurti, had a story about this. He used to say that once the devil, you know what a devil is, Satan, devil and his close friend went for a walk. So as they were walking, the devil bent down and picked up something and put it in his pocket. So his friend asked him, "What have you just picked up?" The devil said, "I have just picked up the truth, Satya, Dharma, and so on, the truth." So his friend said, "You have picked up the truth and put in your pocket. Then your days are numbered, you are finished, because you are the opposite of truth. You are supposed to be untruth, you are supposed to be darkness, you are supposed to be cruelty. So if you have picked up the truth and put in your pocket, then your days have ended now, you will be destroyed." And the devil smiled and put his hand on his friend's shoulder and said, "Don't worry, friend, I'll organize it." Which means truth also, if it is too organized and structured, it can become the untruth, and this is what has happened. No founders of religions, no great beings have ever put man against man. It's the organizations that create all these problems. If you look, you will find that every one of these great beings, this is my personal experience, have been spiritual, caused no harm to others, and never wanted anyone to cause harm to anybody else. Of course, there are different ways to the truth. As Babaji used to say, if you have to reach a pond to drink water, you can reach it through different paths. Now, these are all different approaches to the same truth. You cannot say that that path is wrong and this path is right. There are different ways, and it suits different people to follow different paths. We cannot say this is only right path to go. There are different ways. There is a story of how 4 people belonging to 4 different categories were feeling thirsty. They wanted to drink water. One of them, who was a Greek, said that he wanted to drink aqua. Another one said that he wanted to drink water. The third one said he wanted to drink jala, which is again water, jalam. The fourth one said tanni. But actually they were all trying to drink the same water. A big fight broke up between which is good for thirst, tanni or aqua or water or jala, not knowing that thirst is to be appeased by drinking the same water, no matter whatever name you use for it. That's why the Vedas declared, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vedanti. The truth is one. Wise men may call it by different names.